It was a name that once roared through the streets of Detroit, a badge that stood for rebellion, raw horsepower, and unapologetic American muscle. The Pontiac GTO wasn't just a car, it was a revolution on wheels. And when it was killed off in the 2000s, fans around the world mourned like they'd lost a legend. But what if legends never really die? Because in 2025, the GTO is back. And it's not just returning, it's reborn. Faster, meaner, smarter. A modern muscle machine designed to wake up the soul of a new generation. So what makes this beast so special? Is it just nostalgia wrapped in steel? Or is it the future of American performance? Buckle up, because the road just got loud again. A legacy forged in speed. The Pontiac GTO began in 1964 and instantly changed the way Americans thought about performance. Previously, placing big motors into smaller car bodies was popular, and the GTO handled it best. It was known for its aggressiveness, strength, and wide popularity. As it became popular, earning the new name the GOAT, it reigned supreme in the streets and motivated lots of horsepower lovers. Yet the tale became less popular. The GTO was left in the dust during the 70s because of updated emissions rules, more expensive insurance, and changes in tastes. Even though it made a comeback in the early 2000s, the magic was gone because it didn't have the same power, anger, or toughness. Even so, the name continued to be used. It stood quiet, kept in garages, cherished by hearts, imagined in the dreams of those who used to love it. Don't you often think that old legends just aren't important anymore? Still, that was not the complete story. We continue a story that was briefly paused. The Beast Awakens. First look at the 2025 GTO. When the Pontiac brand was put to rest, no one guessed it would return. However, nobody expected what would happen in 2025. The new GTO isn't just another version of the old one. There is a complete overhaul happening, starting at the base. A strong mix of soul from the past and fierce new sounds. Muscle was reinvented by carbon fiber from the outside, it seems. Large-size fenders. A tough look that appears when it is in a parking lot, too. LED slit-style headlights that light up dark scenes. The split front grille design is still there, but it's more pointed, current, and ready to fight. What does the sculpted hood lead to? There is a supercharged V8 that generates 750 horsepower and sits on a 6.6-liter engine. Accelerating from 0 to 60 only takes about 3.5 seconds. And who knows how fast it can go, except to say, a Hellcat in the rear view. We've seen time and again that revivals are careful not to rock the boat too much. It wasn't actually the case like this. This was a revival with a loud roar. For that reason, the 2025 GTO makes its mark by leaving the road wide open. Inside the monster, tech meets tradition. As soon as you enter, the presence becomes clear in addition to the power. The inside of the 2025 GTO shows a clever blend of older and more advanced technology. The seats are like buckets, tight against you and made in traditional black and red leather. The dash is an electronic display, but its form mimics that of 70s dashboards. At the front of the dash, drivers find a customizable 12.5-inch display, while everything from your speed to launch configurations are managed via the touchscreen in the middle. At the same time, there is actually a shifter you operate on the car. You can get these results with your own touch. You can't only take this car to the track, it's also built with drivers in mind. Have you noticed that new cars are basically computers on wheels? This was only the first part. This had the muscle of a human being, along with its own screen. The powertrain that roars, GM's latest V8L T8 engine, a huge 6.6-liter block teamed with a twin-scroll supercharger, powers this truck. Yet it's not all about the numbers. 750 horsepower and 690 pound-feet of torque are more than real. It's all about the delivery method. The acceleration is very responsive. The sound of the exhaust plays in a quad-pipe melody. Even if I prod the rear, they wiggle but never slip since an adaptive grip and smart suspension are on duty. You want to feel in control? That's correct. Do you want to experience a disorder? You can turn it by pressing the drive mode button. You're probably aware that modern muscle cars aren't as impressive as they once were. After all, this was not what happened. Here you saw great force and knowledge together. Because of this, the GTO isn't just a quick car. It's raw, but still remains focused. Do you know that the original GTO was almost never approved? It was technically illegal under GM's internal rules. Too much power for its frame class. Engineers snuck it through as a performance package, and only later did it become its own model. It was a rebellion in steel, and now 60 years later, GM has embraced that rebellious DNA. The 2025 GTO is built not just to perform, but to provoke, to remind the world what American muscle means in an EV-dominated era. Yes, there's talk of a hybrid variant. Yes, it's track-capable, but at its core, it's still a street brawler. The competition just got nervous, with most muscle cars now gone from the market. Chargers are electric, Camaros are leaving, and Mustangs are mixing in hybrids. The return of the GTO stands out. Its message is, power continues to exist. There's a natural progression occurring. The competition was not prepared. For 2022, Dodge is not selling any gas-driven vehicles. There is a dark horse in Ford's lineup, but nothing as aggressive as this. What about the Camaro? It's gone. That makes the GTO the last big car in a segment full of big names. Now, it's the only speaker that is loud enough. Didn't most of us think emissions laws wiped out the muscle era? This was not all that came out of education. This was a forceful voice in a silent world. Drivers react, the community speaks. When designers teased the GTO's shape on the internet, everyone went crazy. Car YouTubers, Instagram tuners, old school gearheads. Even those who buy electric cars stopped scrolling for a moment. Many of the comments were simply, "We've been waiting for this for a long time." Some people in the crowd began to cry. For others, the big question was about quarter-mile times. There was a consensus. Some aspect was absent. That's what made me remember it. Preliminary test drives are already describing the new muscle car as GM's best handling ever. That's only the first part of what technology offers. It's well known that we end up disappointed by the hype. That was not all that happened. It felt like I was speeding up into the past. Is it worth the hype? Prices are an important topic, so let's address them. Don't expect to buy a 2025 GTO for less than $75,000. A high-trim model can cost you over $90,000. But taking into account how it drives, what's under the bonnet, and what it represents, it could be the best deal you could have hoped for. A GTO is available for tens of thousands less than something like the BMW M5 or Audi RS5 in Europe, and it has something they don't, distinctly American flavor. You might recall how we often say money can't buy history. Even so, it wasn't all there was to learn. I was buying history with a powerful blower on the engine. Personal connection and emotional close. I remember sitting in my uncle's '69 GTO as a kid. Engine rumbling, the whole car vibrating like it had a heartbeat. It smelled like oil and leather and fire. That day I understood what freedom felt like, in V8 form. Now decades later, the feeling is back. Different, smarter, sleeker, safer. But at its core, the GTO still speaks the same language, adrenaline. You know how some cars are just machines? But this was not it. This was a memory on wheels. Reborn. The 2025 Pontiac GTO isn't just a car, it's a statement, a revival, a reckoning. It proves that muscle isn't dead. It's just been waiting for the right time to strike again, and that time is now. If this brought back memories or gave you chills, smash that like button, subscribe for more high-octane car stories, and drop a comment. Would you buy the new GTO or keep the classic? Until next time, stay loud, drive hard, and never let legends die.